prevent any lagging and so forth. For this week, hopefully by next week it will be better. Oh, next week. Okay. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, listen carefully and do inculcate this in your practice. MS9, I haven't received anyone messaging me to do speaking practice yet. I've got from MS10, from MS11, MS9, tak ada lagi. Yeah, so please group up and have a practice with me. Set a date and time, book um, and so forth. Okay, again, coming back to what I've been emphasized on, cohesive devices, meaning for part one, for example, that's why in my opinion, you reset your stand again. And secondly, furthermore, in addition to that, besides that, however, words which are cohesive devices, we emphasize that if you are able to clearly, appropriately, and correctly use all those cohesive devices, you will be gaining an easy at least band 4, because it shows that you this for discourse management for part 1. So yeah, for words. Okay, for Oxford publication, the cohesive devices notes are in page 248 or 25 or 249, if I'm not mistaken. For left click, I'm not sure, because if you ask me, as I mentioned earlier, my personal favorite is okay. So this is the part where, but it's the same. Then Oxford is the same thing. Left click the blue book, Oxford, the blue and white book. Make sure that if you were to buy Oxford, it is the latest version, which is version 2. You don't have to panic to buy 2 books. No. If you already have left click, which is the blue book, fulfill or complete the exercises for listening and reading comprehension. If you don't understand why the answer is as such, PM teacher, and then we are able to have a consultation to explain. Uh, for part two, again, cohesive devices, again, it's just on when you elaborate on your point, make sure that it is clearly indicated that you have, for example, firstly, my first opinion is this. Furthermore, for instance, in addition to that, make sure it is clear. I repeat, make sure it is clear. So for me, personally, during the 2 minutes for part 1 and during the 3 minutes for part 2, before you begin your presentation, list down all the cohesive devices that you can remember, meaning that you do not use the same cohesive devices such as so. Other than that, no. You list it down because you need to show to us, the examiners, that you have varied vocabulary. So try to list down the cohesive devices and reuse it in your presentation. So number 1 is cohesive devices, both for part 1 and part 2. Make it clear, emphasize when you are saying it, make it clear. Okay, that is for part 1. Now, for number 2 would be more on low frequency words, again and again, from the beginning until now, again and again, low frequency words. I know some of difficulty in presenting information, meaning you have problems with vocabulary when you do speaking, you're groping words. However, save your marks, okay, in order to save and to ensure that your marks are within at least band 3, no matter if you say that, teacher, I'm not good in my English. I am referring to
Miss,
a
Miss, sorry, Miss.
low proficiency.
Miss,
you hear me? Because just now it says I lost my connection.
We can't hear you, Miss.
Can you not hear me?
Yes,
Sally,
from just
you can
now
hear
you're
me now.
lagging like like Robert.
Allahu Akbar. Okay, now it's clear. As I told you just now, I don't know why this week my internet connection is also unstable. Okay, now is it loud and
Yeah,
clear, Sally?
yeah,
Okay, if my voice goes robotic again, please do inform me. Okay, because the information that I was informing you just now is very important. Okay, let me begin again. For speaking test, again, please do group up, and if possible, please do please do inform me, and let's have a practice together, group up, because you may think that okay, I'm doing well, but then again, let me hear how you present your opinions and so forth. Now, but first, most importantly, in order for you to gain that bonus mark, not to say bonus marks, that boost for marks for higher band, please do take note. Number one, cohesive devices. I repeat, cohesive devices. I repeat again, cohesive devices. This is the part where it was emphasized. So I'm going to emphasize it to you again. You have to show to the examiners cohesive devices, your correct and effective usage of cohesive devices. For example, um, oh yeah, again, introduction as well. Please, 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 for introduction, I just want all of you to simply say good morning, everyone, in my opinion, straight away. Because I have been doing practices with a few groups, and again, it's a examiners like determine lah and all those things. No, no, no. Reduce the percentage of making errors by just saying good morning, everyone, and state your opinion, because that is what we are supposed to listen to. So again, coming back to number one, cohesive devices. For example, firstly, and then you elaborate. For instance, and then you elaborate. In addition to that, furthermore, moreover, however, but, in conclusion, ergo, hence, thus, therefore, all those are cohesive devices. Make it clear. Make it clear. The same goes for in especially in part two discussion. Make it clear as well that you are using your cohesive devices clearly. Furthermore, in addition to that, besides that, and all those words which are involving cohesive devices. Now, if you are wondering where you can get cohesive devices information to ensure that you are using them correctly, just refer, if you have the left click, refer to your MOT reference books. If you have Oxford, you can refer to page 249 if I'm not mistaken. But then again, if you don't have both books, again, you can just Google it, cohesive devices, and then there would be explanation on how to use it correctly. So that is cohesive devices. Again, it has been emphasized. So what I would suggest here is in part one, in the 2 minutes to prepare for your part one, just list down all the cohesive devices that you can remember. And so that will ensure that you'll be gaining higher band for language because you vary your vocabulary. Okay, that is number one in terms of the usage of cohesive devices. Now, number two, cohesive device generator. Okay, now in terms of number two, oh my goodness. Now, number two here is where low frequency words. Oh, stop pausing. Low frequency words. I've stressed upon this since the first semester itself, low frequency words. Now, even though you may be saying, teacher, my English is not that good and so forth, but it doesn't mean that it's not an excuse for you to not get a higher band for your language. Now, the simplest way for you to boost your marks, let's say your language is in the category of band 2, na'uzubillah, for example, or low band 3, your language is in that category. But when you are able to show to the examiner that you do have low frequency words, the usage of it, and you use it correctly, then in a way, you are able to get a higher band. Contohnya daripada low band 3, paling, for example, low band 3, you can get a higher band to a high band 3, or at least low band 4, depending on your other language or your sentence structures and so forth. Tapi what I want to stress here is you have been informed that when you are using low frequency words, when you inculcate low frequency words in your speaking test as well as in your writing, you can gain higher band for your language. So please do so. So start to memorize. You don't have to memorize all 100 words which I've given you. Just remember a few words and use it. Just use it in your speaking test. So that is very important and very easy marks to get easy marks. And then number 3, confusion, because there are some students who also message me saying that you can discuss in part 1. No, siapa kata in part 1 individual presentation you can't discuss? Yeah, the flow here is for part 1. You're given 2 minutes to prepare, and then once the 2 minutes is over, everyone have to put down their pencils, because that is what you'll be given, pencils during the test. You have to put down your pencils, and when one candidate is presenting, you just have to look up to the candidate and just listen. Just listen, eye contact. And then for part 2, you'll be given 3 minutes to prepare, and then still you can't discuss in the 3 minutes. Tak boleh discuss. That is masing-masing what point masing-masing. Okay, jangan confuse, because I do not know where you get this information from. In the 3 minutes, while you are preparing for part 2 for the discussion, you are on your own, meaning whatever points that you want to present later on, you are on your own. Tak boleh discuss. And then once now it has been emphasized again in the recent meeting. Now once the 3 minutes is over, everybody has to put down their pencils, and this time around they do not want you to write down while the other presenters are speaking. Session 2 boleh, session 3 ni tiba-tiba dia kata tak boleh. So meaning that, for example, when one person starts to discuss, everybody has to, even though you want to jot down their points because you want to reply later, no, you can't write down anything once the discussion has begun. Because do remember this and remind each other ke apa, because later on if the examiners kata please put down your pencil, takut your train of thoughts will be disturbed, so please don't. So when you are presenting, when one person is presenting, we are expecting that all eyes are on the candidates presenting. Now, when you are presenting for part 1 and part 2, again, please do not look at the examiner, look at each other. I repeat, look at each other, don't look at the examiner. When you are presenting, when you are the one presenting, don't look at your notes, because you will be considered as reading. You can intermittently look at your notes. Maksudnya you look at your friends, and then you look at the notes, you look at your friends, and then you look at the notes. Then you will be gaining, it is an easy marks for you to gain for IC, interactive communication, and again discourse management, because it shows that you are confident, and it shows that you are you're confident, and it shows that you are into the discussion. Oh, before I forget, another way why your batch is easy to gain speaking marks is because, number 1, lively discussion. I repeat, lively discussion. It was stressed again. You may be, let's just say, for example, you may be having a language of low band 3, for example, and then your task fulfillment may be high band 3 or low band 4, depending on how you present. But if you are able to, as a group, show to the examiner that you are having a lively discussion, tak adalah macam skema ke, ataupun it was where there's laughter, where there's humor, and then it's just because this is a discussion. This is not a debate. This is a discussion where, a lively discussion. Even though, this is an example given, even though your language may be low band 3 and your task development may be like high band 3 or low band 4. But for IC, interactive communication, and DM, discourse management, your these two assessment, IC and DM, when you have a lively discussion, you can get a high band 4 or even a low band 5, depending on how lively the discussion here is and how interesting the discussion is. Do you understand? So each assessment, there are 4 assessments. For example, task development or task fulfillment, ICDM, and language, you will be assessed separately. So again, for those of you who think that teacher, my language is not that good and then low self-confidence, no, abaikan. As long as you're able, this is the part, we are already 18 years old. There's nothing much that we can do to improve on your vocabulary. You're supposed to be reading more, speaking more, but within these 2 weeks, if you still say that you have lack of vocabulary and so forth, what you can do here is, as long as you understand the instruction, present the information, you can get higher band for task fulfillment, IC and DM. And then for language, again, as I mentioned, throw in a few idioms or low frequency words appropriately, effectively, and correctly. And if, let's say, you are saying that my English is bad, you are in the category of high band 2, you can go to band 3. Yang penting sekurang-kurangnya a band 3. Then you're good, you're safe for your overall marks. Okay, is that clear? So what I want to stress upon for speaking here is, if any of your group members, classmates or so forth, and classmates, roommates, roommates and so forth, are saying that it's like this, it's like that, no, you just if you're still confused, or even if, let's say, your confidence is shaking, message teacher and I will clarify whatever confusion that may arise in your thoughts or in the discussion. Whatever it is, listen what has been taught. Okay, number 1. Number 2, for speaking test, discourse management, cohesive devices, very important. Start going through your cohesive devices and make sure that you're using it appropriately and vary your cohesive devices. Number 3, low frequency words. Again, low frequency words, try to contohnya macam there are many ways, so that is common. What does low frequency words mean? LFW, what does it mean? Understand the concept. Low frequency words is words which are rarely used by candidates. The frequency of candidates using the words are rare. So that is why it is called LFW, low frequency words. As for example, common candidates obviously will use the word there are many ways. So why don't you change it into there are numerous ways on how we are able to do ABC, contohnya. So it is as simple as that, and all those words, because for us examiners, we are supposed to be alert on the usage of your words. Ada low frequency words saja, we have to jot down the words, because that from there we need to justify. Remember, there are 2 examiners assessing you. So when you have local frequency words again, we jot down, and then okay, but this candidate, let's just say we want to give you a low band 3, but then again, oh, this candidate have a few low frequency words, and then we discuss, and then you will be able to gain a higher band because of your low frequency word. So number 3 is low frequency words. Now again, before I forget, number 4, yang paling penting, because yesterday when I was doing a speaking practice with one group, it's either they don't listen to my online class, they haven't watched the videos which I've posted on Wakelet or whatnot. But then again, in terms of online class, now remember when I mentioned, in order for you to gain higher band, easy high marks for IC and DM, when contohnya, okay, I'm going to repeat this again and again until you finish your speaking test. Contohnya, candidate A present for discussion first, and then it goes to the second speaker. Candidate B, contohnya, candidate B, again, second speaker. If you want to gain higher band for IC and DM, dengan cakap teacher, whatever that has been presented by candidate A, you have to contribute your own ideas, even though you disagree. Contohnya, either you agree. Jangan hanya kata, I agree with your opinion. What opinion is that? Make it into full sentence. I do agree with you that one of the advantage of working part-time is what is the point? Is learn new skills, and then you touch upon candidate A or the first speaker punya points. Either you summarize candidate A punya points, or you want to share your own opinion towards that point. Okay, but if you have your own idea, then you can use the cohesive device of however. In my opinion, the main advantage of learning part-time job is you are being financial free, and then that is when you are able to show to the examiner that you are able to contribute your own ideas to other candidates opinion. Hands down, it is easy for you to gain higher band for IC and DM. Again, that's why I say for your batch is so easy to score. So jangan risau asalkan you people listen to what has been taught and informed. Now, then it goes to candidate C. The question was from a candidate C last night. Now, the question was, teacher, I am in candidate C. Do I have to respond to the second speaker only? Because my friend said that her teacher said just respond to the second speaker. Now, again, listen to me. Even though you're candidate C, you have listened to two opinions. Contohnya candidate A and candidate B. So you have listened to two opinions. If candidate A and candidate B have two different opinions, then you have to share your own opinions regarding candidate A and candidate B, because from there it shows to the examiner that you are contributing your own ideas to candidate A and candidate B, and then you can come up with your own opinion. It depends on you. Faham tak? So this is the part. Even though you're candidate D, you have listened to three opinions, let's just say three different opinions. So before you begin, you touch on their points. You don't have to like, jangan panjang sangat. So this is the part where you just touch upon, yes, I do agree with you, candidate A, that we are able to learn new skills when we are working part-time job, and then you agree to which of his point, candidate B point, candidate C, and then you come to your own point if you have a different opinion. So right now, the key word here is contributing or sharing your own ideas to other candidates' ideas. If you're able to do that, you'll be gaining easy marks for easy high marks for IC and DM. Okay, you must always respond. Keyword here is always respond to other people's opinion. Jangan short sendiri. Contohnya A, and then go to, let's say, candidate C, terus you enter your own point. I disagree with you because in my opinion, blah 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 blah. You say, you talk about your own point, but then again, you are not sharing your own opinion, your idea or your thoughts regarding other people's opinion. So kalau macam short sendiri cakap your own point, you can gain high band depending, that will be for language and task development, but kita nak score high for all four assessment because we are targeting for that band 5 plus or band 5. So that is what you do for discussion. So simple, easy marks, which is you just contribute other people's opinion. Okay, that is that. And then apa lagi dia cakap? Other people's opinion, itu yang paling penting. Yeah. And then the again, because this is MS9 je, so at least I'm able to focus. Online class, I'm not sure whether how many are listening, but then again for MS9 je, okay? Now, because based on a few of the groups which I've assessed and monitored, jangan lupa sayang, in part 2 discussion, contohnya candidate A have finished, don't ask, what do you think, what do you guys think, or I'm not saying that it's wrong, don't get me wrong, don't misconstrue what I've said. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but for me personally, I want my students to gain easy higher band. Now, and how do you do it is when one candidate A have finished presenting, you restate your opinion. Always restate your opinion based on the task given. That is why, in my opinion, the best way the most important way for us to reduce stress is for us to have enough rest. For example, okay, you stress is in the question itself, follow the question, and then that is a cue for the second speaker or the next speaker to masuk saja, just to enter. That is a very good point, candidate A. However, I have to disagree. Now, what you said just now, okay, again, as I mentioned, remember, contribute your own ideas. So this is the part where I say, don't ask what do you think, but I want my students to gain easy marks, higher marks, by saying that when one person finishes their presentation by restating your opinion, masuk saja. You know that you're going to be the second speaker and the first speaker has ended, so the second speaker just enter, so that it shows that there is a smooth transition. So it shows to the examiner that I am focused in the discussion, I am interested in the discussion. So that is why I enter without being asked, without being provoked. So again, for part two, always restate your opinion. As I mentioned as well, you may be elaborating and your points may not be fulfilling the task very effectively, but when you restate, when you end your presentation by restating your stand, it is psychologically indicating that I am answering to the task. So that is where, so again, for task two, um please do restate your opinion again and again and again. Now, and then number five, yes, this is the latest information. For number five, how many times you participate in the discussion. Okay, I repeat. Contohnya you go one round, obviously one round. So A sekali, B sekali, C sekali, D sekali. Okay, masing-masing dah sekali cakap, for example. And then when it goes to the second round, we are seeing that for example, candidate A, how many times did candidate A participate in the discussion? 2, 3, 1. And then candidate D, how many times? Sekali je. So that will also be a criteria or a way for the examiners to give you marks for DM and IC. Kalau you, for the first time, you only present or you only participate in the discussion sekali sahaja, so don't expect high marks for speaking. Faham? So you have to show your active participation. Again, it is not taking turn to talks. If you hear something that of your friend which you are disagreeing to, straight away, excuse me, candidate C, may I interrupt? For example, if she or he was speaking, I have to disagree with that. This is the part where you spontaneously respond to the points. If you disagree, you say how you disagree straight away. So that is what it means by lively discussion. Bukannya taking turn to talk. Again, to gain higher, especially yang sesi 2 ni, group 3 and 4, contohnya in MS9, I have to look back which session you are in, or even if you're in session 1, if you're group 4 or 5, yang tu was the last two groups, session 2, the last two groups, masa tu the examiners have listened to 2 or 3 groups of the same topic. What makes your discussion different from the others? Which of these 5 groups, contohnya, had the best discussion, meaning that we enjoyed the discussion, the points were on point, we enjoyed this discussion, lively discussion. So this is the part where you really have to group up. So, but even though I've got some of my students saying that, oh, teacher, we try to do practice, tapi this boy didn't respond lah. Actually, ada excuse lah. If you have those kind of a problem, inform me so that I'm able to do something with the problematic group member and so forth. So please, and then is it this class where I keep on saying again and again, please invite me for a group discussion so that I'm able to monitor. Still tak ada. And then when this student respond to me, oh, we're doing a practice right now, teacher. And I was like, okay, I nak invite teacher ke? But I didn't ask her that. So, oh really? And then this is the part, this is a conversation. If you're doing, good, you're doing a practice. But if you want me to assess you, please do inform me or monitor or comment. Please do inform me. Okay, teacher, and then that. So it shows that she doesn't want me to be in the discussion. Oh, sedihnya. Okay, so this is the part. Please do remember, if you want group up, so that let me see how you are progressing in your speaking, and I do hope that you have group up by now. Once the quarantine is over, we are going to do face to face. please do so. Even weekends, I won't be going back weekends as well. To prepare for you people. So yeah, please do group up and inform me so that I'm able to monitor your progress and just solve any confusion going on. Okay, now my goodness, it's 10:41 already. Okay, so any questions? Because why I'm touching on speaking more is because I'm fresh from coming from the meeting, as well as having a few groups. Banyak sangat dia punya confusion. Not to say confusion, it's like ajaran sesat because of, oh, my friend said, my friend said, my friend said. Okay, any questions? Ada tak group yang tak pernah lagi buat speaking practice? I know it is going to be a bit of a it's going to be a bit of a, what do you call that thing, problem to do speaking practice online due to the due to the due to the unstable network connection. But other than that, teachers right with me. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, sharing is caring. So any questions regarding speaking, especially when you have friends that say, my friend said, my friend said. Any questions? Is everybody there?
Yes, we hear.
Thank you, Sally, for responding. Yang lain semua pergi mana? MS9. MS9. Okay. So next week, we will be having our... No, no, next week. Okay, next week, Hiran Rao, will you be going back for Taipusam? Just wondering. 18th. Next week is 18th.
I think no, madam.
Okay, so since when we look at, if we look at the date next week, when, okay, for MS9, when is your speaking test? The date.
24, is it?
So we have time then. So this is a part. By this Saturday, you'll be having your quarantine will be over. So on the 18th, for Taipusam, we may be having like face to face. I'll see you in block C, and we'll be having face to face, none to back to back. 17th, 19, and 20, 17 and 18. 17 and 19, teacher won't be around because I'll be going off. I will be away again for what speaking test. So but then again, but I'll be back. Usually I'll be back in the afternoon by late evening, and we can, if you want to have a practice with me at night, couple, I'm there. You just have to want to me to be there to assess you. Okay, so now this is the part 10:44 already. So I have um around 10 minutes. Okay, let's go through this for listening. Now for listening, I there are some of you who have not bought the books yet, and then this is the part where, if you, because I do not know why you haven't bought any reference books yet. But then again, if you don't have any books, you can go to the library and borrow the books and do the exercise from there. Now, if you don't have, because we are not allowed. For example, if you're saying that, teacher, can't we have the PYQ for listening for part for session 1 and session 2? Unfortunately, I can't have that audio because nowadays MPM, Majlis Perperiksaan Malaysia, is very very strict, because they're just very very strict. I do not know why they're becoming more and more strict, so can't. Okay, so this is the part where, please do, if you already have left click, don't panic and you want to buy Oxford lah pula. No, no, just complete whatever that you have in that left click book. And if you have Oxford, just complete, because in the exercise in the books, it suffice enough for you to do the practices, because you will be gaining your vocabulary, and you will also be gaining how to write a beautiful correct sentence structure. Okay, now let's go through this one. Let me share the screen. Who is calling me? I have class. Okay, so for this second semester, for this second week, now we for this hour is supposed to be listening, but then again, I'm so sorry. I have to touch on speaking because a few groups have made me worried due to my fancy, and the misunderstanding that they have, yeah, that they have. So I'm just again speaking, it's just around the corner. For listening, again, for listening, and we just have to have the right technique. Now again, for listening, if you remember, in the exam hall later on for listening test, don't look around, don't look around. You will be There will be four parts for listening. Again, I would repeat, there will be four parts for listening, where the first part, and for you luckily it is going to be ABC. For your batch it is going to be ABC. So please do take this opportunity to score well in your listening. Yang paling penting for listening is when you are listening to the recording, you will be listening to the recording twice, where you will listen to before you listen to the first recording, you'll be given 1 minute to go through the question and option answers. During that time, you have to really look at the keyword, go through the keyword, go through the keyword, go through the keywords, and just identify, just predict and guess what you will be listening to. Okay, this is for listening, meaning that when you go through the questions, this is a question, this is option answer, option answers, try to predict what is the answer going to be. So in a way, when you listen to the recording for the first time, inshallah you will be able to get the answers. Okay, number one. Now number two, don't look around. Your eyes, your everything has to be focused on looking at the question and option answers, and listen to the recording. Jot down the ideas. As you listen, you can also jot it down, meaning that perhaps this is the answer and so forth. Okay, so don't look around. And number three, for part four, it will be three short recordings, so that it will be, they won't tell you that it will be ending, all of a sudden the recording stops. So jangan and look around, pendeknya. No, focus please, because every time I see candidates, every time I see candidates doing it, they will be like looking around. So focus. And then when you listen to the recording for the second time, that is where you check your answers. First time around, try to answer the question. Second recording, answer the question. Okay, now next. So that is for listening. So for this week, we're going to do one part. It's basically, you will notice that it is basically the same learning standards from the first semester, which is understand the recordings in the standard form of the language and identify speakers' viewpoints and attitude, as well as the information content. So again, from here, it also indicates that whatever words that come, whatever words that you read in your question for listening, try to understand the question rather than memorizing the word, because do not expect the same word to be heard in the recording. Obviously they will paraphrase the recording, they will paraphrase the sentences and so forth, because it is using synonyms. So understand the question and the option answers instead of trying to find the words in the recording. No, the same go so please know, even the same goes for reading comprehension question. They are not going to use the same words in the question and in the reading passage, because they will obviously paraphrase or use synonyms and so forth. Now, attitude as well, they may be asking questions such as the speaker's tone, or the writer's, in terms of reading later on, the writer's tone and attitude towards the statement or topic. So you have to understand whether the speaker, as you're listening to the recording, the speaker is angry, in an angry tone, or what. Now, understand recordings is, as you can see, what does it mean by speaker's viewpoints? It is the position from which something is being observed or considered, an angle or point of view. They will be discussing a topic, and then you have to understand the speaker's point of view. Are they being optimistic, sexist, realistic, rational, conservative, sensible, open-minded, unbiased, or patriotic, depending on how the tone of the speaker is and the words that are being used. Now, attitude. Again, if you remember, it is more on the emotional aspect of the speaker. For example, angry, sad, the speaker is sarcastic, sympathetic, malicious. What is the word malicious here? Malicious, jovial, forthright, and haughty. So what do these words mean? Malicious apa? Jovial apa? Forthright apa? Haughty apa? Haughty has the same word as arrogant. Haughty maksudnya berlagak. Okay, she's so haughty, not haughty, haughty, not the Haughtie, even though the pronunciation is the same. But haughty here means arrogant. Forthright ni dia macam forthright maksudnya dia jujur. Dia cakap terus. Okay, jujur. Jovial, ceria. Malicious meaning that you have bad intention. Malicious meaning that malicious is like you're mean or just a negative feeling. Okay, now we will be listening to regarding this first audio, which is on SEAL team. So I'm sure if you have watched a few movies, American movie, Western movies, SEAL, it is the United States Navy Sea, Air, and Land. SEAL means Sea, Air, and Land team. So, and SEAL means the functions are conducting a small unit special operation missions in maritime, jungle, urban, Arctic, mountainous, and desert environment. So this is kind of like more towards a general knowledge. We in Malaysia we don't have SEAL. We have apa nama dia? Commando. We call them commando. Okay. So we will listen to the audio for the first time now. 10:53. Do you have another class after this? Sally?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I also have another class after this. 10:53. Okay. So what's going to happen here is this audio is a bit long. So what is going to happen here is I'm going to give the audio in Google Classroom. Now, when I give the audio in Google Classroom, if you can't listen, or there's problem because you know how Google Classroom works, sometimes it's very difficult for you to play the audio. I will give the audio in Telegram, in the group Telegram, and then you can answer the question, listen to because there is 2 Google Forms for you to answer the question for listening for this hour, and please do complete that. I'll give the audio in Telegram, which is easier for you easier for you to listen to, because I also have another class after 10:54. Okay. So in Google Classroom, let me show you. Okay, let me stop. No. Okay, so as you can see, we have two. We have two Google Forms questions, listening questions for you to answer. Now, it's short questions, only 10 questions, but then again, it will be based on today's this hours learning standard. So this is the part where you have your own copy. There will be you have your own copy, and I will give the audio later for you to listen and answer the questions, and then we have Google Forms as well for you to answer the questions, and then you can once you're done with the questions in the slide. It's just short questions only. Now, please do the questions on in the slide, because there are wonderful vocabulary for you to learn and for you to know. So I'll give the audio in Telegram, and then as well as in for the 2 Google Forms, there are wonderful vocabularies for you which you can learn from the slides. So please do answer the questions, and once you're done, turn in and submit. Okay. turn in, and then you do not need to post your marks in the comment section. You don't need to. Okay, so I think I need to let you off now for you to prepare for your next class, and for me as well to prepare for my next class as well. So if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Again, I hope you remember what has been taught regarding speaking. Cohesive devices, I'm stressing it again and again. Cohesive devices, low frequency words, do it, darlings. And then part two, again, contribute your ideas. Always, before you touch on your own opinion, you share or you contribute your own opinions and share your ideas regarding other people's opinion first. Okay, and make it yang paling penting in order for you to have easy scoring also is make your discussion, try as you may, make your discussion lively so that you can get easy marks for IC and DM, even though your language may be of a lower band marks, but then again, at least you get higher band for IC and DM. So if you want to exercise this information, or you want to see whether it is whether you are using it in your speaking practice, please do, again I repeat, please do invite me in your group practice. Have a time and inform me and book me in Suspect, and we'll do the speaking practice so that I'm able to monitor your progress. Okay, so if there are no more questions, and again, do not forget to sign in your attendance. So if there are no more questions, are there any more questions? Are there any questions?
No, Miss.
Thank you, Sally. So if there are no questions, I'll see you when I see you. Again, please do invite me in any of your group discussions. I'll see you when I see you. Have a great day ahead, people. Take care. Have a great weekend ahead. I see.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Miss.
I'll see you on
Thank you,
Saturday.
Thank you,
man.
Miss.
Baru
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you,
berbunyi.
Madam.
Ya, baru berbunyi. Udah senyap aja. Rania, where were you? So quiet. Take care, darlings. Now move on to your next class.
Thank you, Madam.
Welcome.